Bounce doesn't favour Harvey, but it's brilliantly picked up by Edwards Baldwin. And now he gives it off to his teammate. And he pumps this one long towards half forward. Huge pack of forward and in midfield. And he decides to go down the line. Dangerous ball. Turner on the second grab. Play on, says the umpire, before he gets wrapped up in a strong tackle by the returning Chesser. Conditions that we've had here in Perth throughout the day. Chesser on the end of it. Wheels around onto that right foot. It's a long ball. And that was intended for Dat.
The Turner direction a bit too much over his head. Rawlinson, the opposite end of the ground that we expect him. Has to combine now with Chesser. Goes back. Rawlinson, the Eagles break out of jail for now. Rawlinson to the position of Harvey. Wasn't 15. Had to go back to his skipper. Turner gets back on his favourite left boot. Diving mark. Umpire let it play out. Couldn't quite hold it for long enough. Shellcraft getting busy as he always does. Off the outside of the boot. The Eagles try and clear. Bright had to play from behind.
WA Day long weekend. In front position, winning it down there was Barnett. It now is won by the Swans. Big handball over the top from Turner into the hand.
Final run. So the ball just staying on this broadcast side. Right place, right time for Aiden Clark, who's pushed off the ball. O'Donoghue's a couple to 10. With that, what about Bazzo over the top? Couldn't quite hold the mark, but coming McCarthy, he's just looked really polished. And goes out to Chesser. Chesser, of course, coming back from ankle surgery, his first game for the season. Goes into the heart of the ground now. Wants Edwards Baldwin. That was spiked out of his arm. Again, Swan District's not mucking around with it. Bazzo's going to sit underneath this. Did really well in the air. Coleman.
The Eagles will look to head it towards their half-forward line. Chipper, as he pushed in the back. Umpire says play on. Datson, lovely hip and shoulder to clear the path for Chesser. Goes by hand.
Done. The Eagles, they're not really on the same page in terms of what they want to do with the ball movement. Chesser kicks it short. Break the deficit.
Absolutely. A big chance here for the Eagles if they can get the evening goal. And that ball is taken to their forward 50, one-on-one. Great.
Like again, but nonetheless, it's still inside forward 50, but the Eagles are going to try and break out of jail, which they do so for now.
Taylor.
The coalface. Lynch is going to have to contend with the opposition player. Again, Turner just finds it so naturally, but he's wrapped up before he could make any sort of decision.
Ukic and Livingston. Livingston got hands to it, and now the Eagles will clear through Chesser. Pumps it long, up towards midfield. Brilliant pick-up by Kerr, but he gets wrapped. Rawlinson has Sparks for company. Dangerous handball. Turner got hands to it. Under pressure from Chesser. He gets written into the ground, but handballs it along the ground to accommodate Spark. Here's Lucassen, one of the co-captains for West Coast. Short ball finds Chesser. Campbell Chesser. Back in the side this week. He's electing to go for distance. Long ball. Livingston. Huge leap from behind.
Has to be really cautious in the back half. Bananas in hope more than anything. Chesser. He's caught down. Swans. Break out of jail. Watson, that target. McCarthy off to Chesser. 2 inclusions for today. Bright elected not to dive for the ball, and Taylor's
going for the mark. He's been thrown up forward but couldn't hang on to it. Datson goes by hand to Chesser. He's got a couple of players in support. One of them was Shanahan, but he elects to go back to make a fine mark taken over the back. And that is by Orion Kerr making his debut. Short ball. Spots up his teammate in Chesser. Inboard. Hall. Swans covering the Eagles' targets quite well at the moment, and it's forcing Hall to go across the ground. That's not a relatively bad kick. 50, but it goes only as far as Eastoff, the co-captain for the Eagles. Switches up the play and finds Chesser. Chesser wants to play on. Sets this one long to the wing. That's a good kick. And it spots up his teammate in Rawlinson. Rawlinson, short ball. Behind Champion, tried to storm through, but unfortunately couldn't go anywhere further. And now the Eagles with a chance. Champion, here's kick. Just a little too much mustard on it. As Swan
out of the back half, the Swans, how about that? Copying a nasty one there was Turner, but did well enough to handball it off. Here's
in a fortnight's time as Watson gets wrapped up in the tackle. Umpire calls play on. Chance now for the Eagles. Quick handball onto Rawlinson. Pulls it back around the ball.